Hello Queens and Kings, my name is Thandeka Shabangu. Welcome to my channel. If it is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Welcome to today's tutorial. We are still paying our debt for the letters, the beaded letters, while we are doing our brick stitch. Today we'll be doing our letter E, small letter E, and our big letter E. After this tutorial, we will change a bit and add and do something different. We'll be doing a pattern. Okay, so for what materials we'll be using for this tutorial, you're going to be using your upholstery thread, your needle, and your check beads. So let's get started. So this is where we left off. A, B, C, D. We're coming closer to Z. Yeah, we are. Let's stay hopeful. So at the corner, you're going to start with your 2 navy beads. And insert your needle under the first bridge, and then you pull. Then insert your needle in an upwards direction into the second bead, and then you move up. From there, you're going to add your yellow beads. So under that bridge, that thread bridge, you insert your needle, and then you pull. Take your needle, you move up. Pick up another yellow bead under the bridge and into the bead. Another yellow bead under the bridge and into the bead. Pick up another yellow bead under the bridge. You pull into the bead. You pull. Another yellow bead. Another yellow bead under the bridge. You pull into the bead. You pull. Pick up another bead under the bridge and into the bead. Then you pull. You pick up another yellow bead under the bridge This thread has a mind of its own. It keeps doing its own things. Exactly like this. Keeps making knots. Pick up another bead. Under. Then into. So this is where we're going to stop with our yellow beads. We have 8 yellow beads. So we're going to go back to our background color, which is our navy. Insert your needle under the bridge and into the bead. You pick up another bead, insert it under the bridge and into the bead like this, and then you pull. So now we're starting a new row. We're going to pick up 2. Also, where we're starting with our capital letter E, ne? Yes, so now we're going to pick up 2 beads. Every time when you start a new line with your brick stitch, you pick up 2 beads. Pick up your 2 beads. Then you set them nicely And then you're going to pick up your yellow bead. This is our yellow bead. And then after adding this yellow bead, we're going to add blue beads. So we have to have 3 blue beads. So this is our first blue bead, our second blue bead, and now we pick up our third blue bead. After having your 3 blue beads, you're going to add 1 yellow bead. Going to pick up 1 yellow bead, and then you go back to your blue bead. You're going to pick up 3 blue beads. This is the first one. This is your second one. And your third one. And then you're going to pick up your yellow bead, and then you pick up your blue bead. So this is how it's looking currently. So now we're at the corner. We're going to start by picking up 2 blue beads. 2 blue beads. So now, as you know, that with your capital letter E, you have to have the back, and then you have to have 3 lines across. So because this is a brick stitch, it would be impossible to have, for example here, a yellow bead exactly on next to the yellow bead, because it's a brick stitch. So because our beads, they sit like this, and then there's a bead in between. So because of that, your straight line, like as you can see with B, instead of having the yellow beads exactly next to each other, they're going to have to be on top, be at the bottom, be on top, be at the bottom, and so on and so forth. So here we're going to add our yellow bead. So don't panic when you don't see your crossing lines, when you don't see your beads being exactly next to each other. For example, with this bead that I'm going to add just now, as you can see, it's not exactly following the yellow bead. That's totally normal. It is completely normal. This is your brick stitch. That's why it happens that way. You pick up, so here you're going to pick up your yellow bead. Then you go to your navy beads. Another navy bead. And another navy bead. So now we're going to add our yellow bead. Then we go back to our navy beads. Okay, so now we're going to pick up 2 beads because we're at the corner. 2 navy beads. Insert our needle into the thread bridge, under the thread bridge, and into the bead. Then you pick up and so you're going to pick up a yellow bead instead of a navy one. Going to pick up your yellow bead. Then go to back to your navy bead. Another navy bead. Another navy bead. Then you pick up your yellow bead. Go back to your navy bead. Another navy bead. And another navy bead. Then you're going to pick up a yellow bead. Want to pick up your yellow bead, then you add it. Oopsie. And then you pick up one navy bead. So this is our E so far. So now we're going to do the last line for our E. You pick up So you just play around with your yellow beads. If it's at the bottom for the next row, you put it at the top. If it's at the top for the next row, you put it at the bottom, as you can see. So for the corner, you pick up your 2 blue beads. So the previous yellow bead was at the bottom. That means for our next row, the yellow bead is going to be at the top. I hope the way I'm explaining it makes sense. So my 2 blue beads. Then I pick up 1 yellow bead. I've added my yellow bead. So go back to our blue bead. Then we pick up our second bead. So let's look at these yellow, how they're behaving. So it was at the top, bottom, top. That means it's going to be at the bottom. So that means we're going to add our yellow now, instead of adding our blue bead. Then we go back to our navy beads. Another blue bead. And then look, top, bottom, top, bottom, top. That means for the next row it's going to be at the bottom. Then for the remaining part, you're going to add your navy beads. So this is our capital letter E. It's very simple, very, very simple. Our capital letter E. This is how it is looking like, queens and kings. So now what I'm going to do is just add one more line, and then I'm going to come back for our small letter E. Okay, queens and kings, now we're going to get started with our E, or small letter E. So as I've mentioned this before, that the nice thing about doing these letters is that you can always apply the knowledge that you have learned from the previous letters to help you do the other letters. For example, for our small letter E, we're going to use the structure of our C. And then the only difference that is going to be is that we're going to have a line connecting from the back to this front part of our C. That's the only difference. Otherwise, the outer structure will be exactly the same. It will be exactly the same. So let's get started with this small letter C, queens and kings. Small letter E, sorry. Small letter E, queens and kings. So at the corner, you're going to have your 2 navy beads. 2 navy beads. Then you add your other navy bead. So after you've had your 3 navy beads at the bottom, you're going to get started with your C. So as you can see with C, we have 1, 2, 3 yellow beads. And so should we. We can you see I'm rhyming. So this is the first yellow bead that we're going to add. This is our second yellow bead that we are going to add. This is our third yellow bead that we are going to add. Okay. So for the remaining part of the row, to save time, I'm just going to add the blue beads off camera, but you will also do that. When I come back, we're going to be starting a new line. Okay, so I've finished with my yellow beads. Now I'm going to get started with the new row. So I'm just going to add my first 2 beads at the corner. The only time we're going to react or add a different color bead is when we are closer to the yellow bead. For example, where we currently are, we are very far from the yellow bead. So that means we're not going to react. We're going to stay neutral by adding our background color, our navy beads. It's gonna add another, the last blue bead. Okay. So now we are closer to the yellow beads. Let me finish this part. Okay. So now we are closer to the yellow bead. Ne? As you can see, Bahlali, you're going to add your yellow bead. So we are opening up on both ends. At the top, we're opening. At the bottom, we're opening, like we did with C. And then we're going to add 1 blue bead. And then we're going to do something different from our C. We're going to add our yellow bead. So this yellow bead is the foundation for that line at the center that connects our back from our front. Our back to our front, ne? Not from. Then you're going to add another yellow bead. So this is how it's going to look like. Then you go back to your blue beads. You add another blue bead. So at the corner, you're going to pick up 2 blue beads. Remember, the only time you're going to react is when we are closer to the yellow bead. Okay. So now we're closer to the yellow bead. How do we react? We pick up yellow bead. We are opening our E from both sides, from the bottom and at the top. So we are doing this. We are opening it up. So that's why we're adding our yellow bead on the outside and not on the inside. Okay. So now you pick up your blue bead. Okay. Now you pick up your yellow bead. I am so tempted to say, okay. Now you pick up your blue bead. Whew, I am fighting the urge. Okay. Okay. And now you're going to pick up your yellow bead. Okay. So this is how our E is currently is. So for the remaining part of the row, you're going to add your background color. Then we're going to meet once we're starting a new line. So I've added my blue beads up until the corner. So now I'm going to add my 2 navy beads. So for now, off camera, I'm just going to add 1, 2, 3, 3 navy beads. And then I'm going to come back once I've added the 3 navy beads. Okay, so I've added my 3 beads, my 3 blue beads. So now we only react once we are closer to the yellow bead. So now we're going to put our yellow bead on the outside and not in the inside, because we want to expand our E at the top and also at the bottom. So how do we do that? We add our yellow bead. I pick up my 1 blue bead, and then I pick up my yellow bead, and then I go back to my blue bead. Pick up another blue bead, and then I pick up yellow bead. Then I'm going to pick up 1 blue bead. Okay, so remember we're expanding our E, so we kept adding our yellow beads on the outside. So now we're going to work towards coming a bit towards the inside of the E. We're not closing it, but we're just coming just a little bit towards. So you're going to pick up 2 navy beads. So now our mission is just to come on the inside a little bit. So now you're going to pick up your yellow bead. So that's why we're adding our yellow on our inside instead of the outside. Then you pick up your blue bead. You pick up your blue bead again. And now you're going to pick up your yellow bead. Then you pick up your yellow bead again. Remember, on the ends, we are moving towards the inside. And then for the remaining part of the row, you're going to add your navy beads. So now I've finished my row of navy beads. I'm just going to add my 2 navy beads. at the corner. So this is the last row for our E. Oopsie, sorry, this is the last row for our E. So now you're just gonna add off camera. The navy bead's gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4. Ne? You're going to add 4 navy beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when I come back, you would have added your navy beads. So I've added my I've added my 4 beads. Ne? So now I'm going to pick up my yellow bead. Then I pick up my blue bead. Then I pick up another blue bead. Then I pick up 1 yellow bead. Then I pick up my blue bead. And then the last blue bead. So this is our small letter E, Queens and Kings. This is how it is. So this is where we're going to stop for our tutorial, Queens and Kings, for our letter E. For the next tutorial, but the next tutorial we're going to do the belt pattern, and then we're going to go back. We're just gonna add our letters here and there, but at the same time there still have to be other content coming in. Thank you so much for watching, Queens and Kings. I love you guys so much. Remember to love yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself, and have fun. If you love the content that you're seeing, please consider subscribing. See you on the next video. Bye.